Serving up a warm dish of the Triad's culinary fare, here's your weekly helping of food, news, and views. This is The Man Who Ate the Town.
Hey folks, and welcome to episode 204 of The Man Who Ate the Town podcast. This is for the week of June 28th through July 4th, 2021. My name is Tim Beeman, and I am flying solo, and I'm opening this new, we'll try something new, this new recipe box. Okay, recipe trunk then, how about that? We are recording this episode of The Man Who Ate the Town in the Less Desirable Studios South, aka my house. I'm not talking with anyone today other than you, dear listeners, so I don't need Zoom today. But if I were using Zoom, it'd be sponsored by Bull's Tavern. If you're listening to us on your favorite podcatchers like Apple Podcast, Stitcher, or Spotify, or any others like that, we'd appreciate a like, a follow, and a rating. It would help us more than you know. And if you're listening to us on the Triad Podcast Network, welcome and thank you for that. This episode of The Man Who Ate the Town is brought to you by Diamondback Grill, casual dining located in the heart of Buena Vista in Winston-Salem here. It's a fantastic family-owned farm-to-fork restaurant that sources most of its ingredients from local farmers. Try one of their themed menu specials. Tuesdays are Fresco Martes, which is fresh Tuesday, I believe, with margarita night. All margaritas are $4. Wednesdays are burger and beer night, $3 drafts, $2 PBR. Thursdays are Italian specials with $4 house wines and also themed Thursday nights. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. And Friday night is seafood night, fish on Friday night. Cosmos are $4. Saturday is both seasonal specials and steak night with half price bottles of wine with the purchase of 2 entrees. Good beverages, great atmosphere, and you will have a great time. This past Friday, the Beer Dad Social Club, as I like to call us, or at least part of it, met at Diamondback on Friday. So 3 of the Beer Dads, our honorary Beer Mama Stacy, our spouses, or as we call them on the show, pilots, and Stacy's truly is a pilot because he is a pilot. And our very good friend and listener of this show, Jim Young. Hey, Jim. All hung out and had a great time with delicious food and bevies. Stephanie and I both had the raspberry salmon, although I was going to have the grouper special, but they were down to the last ones, and I took one for the team and went with the salmon instead. I do highly recommend Diamondback for your big and small events, a romantic dinner with your honey, or just like we did, to hang out and have a good time with your friends. Diamondback Grill is located 751 Avalon Road. Check them out on the web, diamondbackgrill.com, and on Facebook and Instagram to make reservations for this for their events, or reservations for just eating. 336-722-0006, and of course tell them that I sent you. The Man Who Ate the Town. And as usual, everybody's hiring. Go get a job. Please. I have a lot to go through today, and I'm by myself, but first I want to talk about the Peach Brothers. The Peach Brothers are 3 friends who love the heck out of some peaches. They picked them from some of the oldest peach farms across the country. They contacted me to see if I'd be interested in trying their peaches and reviewing them, and I said, of course. Last week, when I had to kick off the podcast early, it was because that was the only time I could pick these peaches up. So I gave some to both John and Paul that night because we recorded the Beer Dads that night, and I had a bag full that I gave to my mother. We still had a shload of peaches after giving about 15 to 20 away. Let's just say my house smelled great for quite a few days. I used the peaches in 3 different recipes yesterday, and I'll tell you more about those in just a little bit. I think these peaches came from South Carolina, and they do switch those up. To get on the delivery list for Peach Brothers deliveries and to find more information and recipes, visit thepeachbrothers.com. Good news, Alma Mexicana is back open, and not just pop-ups. So congrats to Claire and her team for staying with it, making it through the wilderness, and now being back open. And yes, Claire, I will be by soon. Coppola's and Sweet Potatoes both announced that they would be closed until next Tuesday for holiday. They're on vacation. Zito's will be closed next week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. It's the 5th through the 7th for a respite, or as I prefer to say, because it's the right way to say it and the British way to say it, respite. Kata Japanese Grill on Haynes Mall, that's the Target shopping center, will be closed today and tomorrow so they can replace their grease trap. The Renolda Road location is still open. And in that Renolda shopping center there, the Thai Sawat seems to have closed. A friend of mine who lives out that way says that they thought that they had closed, and this morning when I called the phone number, it had been disconnected. Their Healy Drive and the Teeter Thai, Harris Teeter location, both of those are still open. Congratulations go out to the West Coast Wanderer food truck for tomorrow, June the 29th. Will be their second anniversary, and I know Leah is a big fan of that truck. Happy anniversary, West Coast Wanderer. Carrabba's Italian Grill, located at 587 South Stratford Road, is no chain. This is a responsible family of restaurants. Carrabba's and their owner partners take the communities they serve very seriously, and for us, having a fantastic franchisee like Daniel certainly does not suck. Now, Carrabba's did announce, finally, their Summer Selects features, which includes a new dish, a filet mignon parmesan. Let me say that again, filet mignon parmesan. Also the Tuscan grilled ribeye and the Maui Wolf, or Wolf. I don't know how they say it, but it looks like it should be Wolf. W-U-L-F-E. I'm very interested in hearing more about that filet parmesan. So, Daniel, I need to talk to you about that. And you can find out more for yourself by visiting Carrabba's.com. This week's Diamondback Themes Thursday is a beer tasting with local Hoots Brewery and food demo with Chef Mac. They will have heavy hors d'oeuvres and a cash bar from 5:30 to 8:30, benefiting the Community Care Center, and the cost is $25. So Chef Mac will be doing food with Hoots Beer, and I'm sure someone from Hoots will be there. So again, $25 a ticket, 5:30 to 8:30, go back up so I can, 722-0006 for reservations for that. The Flower Box posted yesterday they are still looking for a location but haven't given up. Upon watching all the British television shows that we have been into lately, we subscribe to BritBox, so we watch a lot of Brit-based television shows. I would love to find a place that has afternoon tea like they do in Britain. I know the Flower Box used to do that, so I hope they get back up soon. Just not because of that, but just because I hope they do. And if I know about it, I can go by and have afternoon tea. Stephanie does not like tea, so I would probably have to go alone, or maybe she could come and have something else. I had said that Stephanie and I went by Southern Time a couple of weeks back, and it looks like they are, or it looked like then they were closed, and it looks like now that they really are. Their phone number has been disconnected, so I'm guessing that means that they're gone. So unfortunately, that restaurant did not last very long. Months, really. Other Sons Event Center, the regular business page is offline, but the group page is still up and is current with plenty of mentions of the owners and events and things that are happening. Washington Perk and Provision Company, located at 301 West 4th Street. You'll find a little bit of everything at the Perk and Chip Corner. A deli to get your sandwich on the go. Fruits, veggies, meats, and dairy from local sources. Bingo Bango sodas. Wolfie's Custard, a wall of beer and wine, and more. Washington Perk is better than a convenience store, not quite a grocery store. On Facebook, they are Washington Perk, or at Washington Perk _DTWS on Instagram. Slappy's Chicken posted an update, which is big news. Not that they're opening, but that big news that they posted something. They said they wanted to be more transparent about their happenings, and this is the first thing that I know of that they posted. But just as I have suspected, and I think I've mentioned on here, it's bureaucratic red tape that has kept them bogged down, and they haven't even been able to begin renovations yet. They said they would keep us posted, so here's hoping that it's soon. Momo Ashi, I guess is how you say it, a bubble tea cafe is planning to open where Cafe Viridou was at Robin Hood and Peacehaven. I was looking on their page, and they said yesterday that it looked to be about 2 weeks for opening. Momo Ashi is owned by Mickey Ho and Leila Luttrell, and is technically a franchise, as they have permission to use the name, recipe, decor, and themes from the original Momo Ashi in New York. They trained at that location and will buy their ingredients from that location. So when I know more, I'll let you know more. Speaking of openings, Toasted Winston-Salem has opened in the old Liberty Arts Cafe location. Chris Eastwood, who also owns Salem Organic Supply, just opened this place, and he purchased the location after Mike Coe passed away a few months back, and Salem Organic Supply is just up the street. It is a coffee shop, and we'll have pastries, muffins, and stuff, but once they get through the aforementioned bureaucratic red tape, they will be installing a panini press to make panini and panini-like sandwiches. Also now open is Chili Philly, a Philly water ice shop. Now, I had to look that up because other than dry ice, which isn't really ice, it's just really cold carbon, I think, dioxide, and black ice, which is, I guess, technically ice, isn't all ice water ice? So, kind of like Italian ice, which my understanding also is that if you're not in Philadelphia, it's called Italian ice. If you're in Philadelphia, it's water ice, because, Philly has to put their name on everything. It's made with sugar and little ice pellets and flavoring. They have ice cream and soft pretzels too. And then there's the Chili Philly special with both the Philly ice and ice cream together. Frank and Wendy Robinson opened the shop on May 15th with their friend and partner Andrea Main, like the state. It's located on Knollwood behind the Arby's with the big hat. One of the few remaining Arby's in the country that has the big hat. Across from Moore School, just up the street from Miller Park. And right there close to the Domino's Pizza as well. So go have some Philly water ice. Meta's restaurant, which has been presumed closed for a while now, still posts things on their Facebook page, and mostly it's devotional or religious or empowerment things. I tried calling the restaurant this morning, and the number is no longer in service, which I can only assume means they are closed, and they have been around for a long time, so that's sad. Little Red Caboose posted for the first time in almost 2 years on their Facebook page, but not about food, oddly enough. It's something from megachurch owner Joel Osteen, I don't know how you pronounce that. But get to posting food pictures, y'all. We need food pictures. July 25th through the 31st is, the Winston-Salem Journal, the Greensboro News and Record, and Eat Drink Triad will have Eat Drink Burger Week. It is a week to celebrate culinary creativity, increase visibility and engagement with the food and beverage community, and drive dine-in and carry-out orders with a little healthy competition. Participating restaurants across the Triad will prepare a unique and delicious, quote, off-the-menu, unquote, burger available for 1 week only. These chefs will create an $8 masterpiece, and again, not on the regular menu. That will be vetted in advance to make sure that no two burgers are alike. Patrons will eat, drink, and vote online for their favorite burger via a QR code. The champion will be presented with a trophy and bragging rights. Customers will be encouraged to share photos of their locations on Instagram for a chance to win a Yeti cooler. The Man Who Ate the Town is a media sponsor for this event. For more information, contact the Winston-Salem Journal or Greensboro News and Record at 336-727-7212. Providence, where my baby boy works, will be having a beer tasting event at the Manor House in Tanglewood Park on July 28th, featuring the beers of local faves Hoots Beer Company. The tickets are $65 per person, I believe, plus tax and fees, and there are several seatings to choose from starting at 5:30 going all the way through 9:30. I believe the last sitting is 9:30, so it's not 9 to 9:30. All right, time to talk about the Country Spinner. And I prefer to talk about this when I have Ray with me, but I'm going to just tell you about it anyway. Technically, we had French yesterday. We started with a croque madame, which Stephanie made for us, which is ham and bechamel sauce and Gruyere cheese on sourdough, and then topped with more of the bechamel, baked, and then a fried egg is put on top. That's one of her favorite things when we were in Paris, and so she made those for brunch yesterday. And then because I had all those peaches from the Peach Brothers, and they had to be used because picked peaches, they go bad within a week. So Monday to Sunday is probably as far as I could go. I had all of them. They had to be used, and I cooked 3 different dishes in a French style because we specifically shop for this meal, found local things as much as possible, and whipped things together using French butter, French bread, and so on. But that's a French style. I would first like to say, before I go any further on that I did get a combination 11-in-1 8-quart Instant Pot and air fryer. So it's a combination of Instant Pot and air fryer. It's the latest model. It's the newest thing. First, there was of the meals that I made, or the meal that I made, the first thing that I did was chilled peach soup with fresh goat cheese. So starting Saturday, I mixed peaches, cucumbers, yellow bell peppers, dried apricots, goat cheese, honey, white balsamic vinegar, salt, and a whole clove of garlic in a bowl and let it sit overnight. Yesterday, I got the ingredients out, put them in my food processor, and pureed the crap out of the soup. And once I got it mostly down, I used an immersion blender to smooth out the texture even more. I then put it back in the fridge for about 2 hours to chill back down. When I was ready to serve, I ladled the soup into a bowl, garnished with thin strips of yellow bell peppers, cukes, and more goat cheese. I added fresh pepper and then dotted some olive oil on the top. It was fantastic. I also had French bread, and I fry toasted, which means I fried it but was toasting it on a pan. Some large croutons with parsley flakes and salt. It was delicious, all of it together. Next, I made the dessert, which was a clafoutis, Clafoutis. It was peaches in a light custard, and I put this next here because other than chilling the ingredients of the soup, I started this next because it had to cook the longest. So it was flour, salt, granulated sugar, 4 eggs, milk, heavy cream, vanilla, unsalted melted butter, and of course more Peach Brothers peaches The custard came out a little like a flan, which I guess that's what it is, a flan. The batter that I made covered the peaches and cooked for about 75 minutes. It was firm but wiggly and tasted really, really good. The main course was bourbon peach glazed salmon, and I had some salmon that I'd gotten from a food run by my son. Earlier in the day, I made a peach jam in my brand new Instant Pot. It was the first thing that I had made there. I was proud of myself for that. In there, I put the peaches and freshly squeezed lemon juice, honey, and vanilla extract, and did it in the Instant Pot, and then pressure cooked it for just a little bit, and then actually just a minute. But that's a misnomer because it went on for like 5 to 10 because you have to let the pressure build up, and as that happens, it's still heating it. So once I let that go and then naturally release all the steam without me letting it out, I then turned on the saute feature and stirred the crap out of it until it was ready. Used an immersion blender and smoothed it out as well. So for the salmon, I mixed some chipotle powder, garlic powder, honey, Benchmark bourbon, and that homemade jam that I had prepared earlier. I mixed that up, and after salting and peppering the salmon, I topped it off with the sauce. I broiled it for about 10 minutes, and then after doing the croutons on the soup that I mentioned earlier, I put the remaining sauce in that pan and immediately removed it from the heat so that it just warmed up the sauce. It bubbled a little bit, but it all came out really easy. Those flavors were really good, and other than the prep work, it was an easy week to cook. So while this wasn't the most traditional French cooking we could do, it was to us, and we loved every bit of it. Once again, thank you to the Peach Brothers for your delicious peaches that allowed us to make these fantastic dishes. And again, thepeachbrothers.com to order your peaches next time they pick and are around. All right, let's talk burgers really quick. We are sitting at 99, I think, right now. I didn't have any official burgers this week. I did, however, have a burger in a basket from Cafe Arthur's. Now, Street Team Steven has that flagged as him wanting to go with me, so while it just so happened that I was there, I didn't know how I'd feel about the burger, and I gave it a test run. Let's say that, a test run. It is the burger that Ray, who isn't here today, said we should try. I will say that it is worth at least sampling. Now, I don't want that to sound like I didn't like it, but I just have to keep all this rating stuff and opinions and all of that on the down low. So, I will say, Street Team Steven, I know you're listening, Cafe Arthur's, the burger in a basket, we will try that on the tour. Hopefully I have 1 or 2 official burgers this week. So, at least I'm hoping. The food holidays are sponsored by Mojito Latin Soul Food, your go-to Cuban and Latin-inspired restaurant. I've said this many times, and I'm going to back it up. Their Cuban, the Cubano sandwich, is hands down the best sandwich in town. All those flavors with even the quote-unquote cheap ingredients they punch you in the mouth and are in the style, and that's how my brother Michael Mion grew up making that sandwich. It's just that good. Yellow mustard, boiled ham, cheap pickles, pulled pork, cheap Swiss cheese on a real Cuban roll. So that's how it is. That's really good. They do reservations. They do takeout. They have a rather large outdoor patio, and they do deliveries to surrounding businesses like Fiddling Fish, Broad Branch, and Wise Man, and probably others right near them. Check them out on their Facebook page and MojitoLatinSoulFood.com. Like last week, I'm going to go through and do the holidays this week. I'd like to hear your thoughts, readers, on when Ray's not here, or Leah's not able to make it here either. And I'm doing this by myself. And a lot of times the history is something that's a conversation between my co-host and myself. And it seems like whenever I read it by myself, it's kind of flat and boring. So I want your thoughts. Do you think it's flat and boring if my co-host is not with me? Last week I apologize that I had to run out, but it was just easier to do. Anyway, let's do it. 6/28 is today. It's National Tapioca Day. I don't know why tapioca needs its own day. The 29th is National Almond Butter Crunch Day. It's also Waffle Iron Day. The 30th is National Mai Tai Day. I could go for a Mai Tai right now. The 1st of July is Early Bird Day. Don't know what that means, but that's what it is. It's National Ginger Snap Day, Creative Ice Cream Flavors Day. On the 2nd, it's National Anisette Day. On the 3rd, it's National Fried Clam Day because in 1916, Lawrence Chubby, I resemble that, Woodman is said to have invented the fried clam at his concession stand in Essex, Massachusetts. A local fisherman who liked Woodman's homemade potato chips suggested he fried up some of his clams. And he did. And then it was National Fried Clam Day from that day on, I guess. It's National Chocolate Wafer Day, which Ray would be happy about. And National Eat Beans Day, which up until recently my wife would not have done. But yeah, I think she's doing better with that. The 4th Sunday is our country's 245th birthday. Unsurprisingly, it's also National Barbecue Day, National Barbecue Spare Ribs Day, and National Baked Beans Day. It's also National Caesar Salad Day, which can but probably doesn't go with all those unhealthy foods. And rumor has it that one of the first official 4th of July celebrations that happened in this country was in what is now modern-day Old Salem. So I believe they had, other than Philadelphia, they had the first official 4th of July celebration. So happy birthday, America. That's all your food holidays and slight bit of history for this week. Special thanks to James Ehler at Food Reference for making us chuckle and roll our eyes. And talk about birthdays a little bit. The Man Who Ate the Town podcast is part of the Less Desirables podcast network. Along with this podcast, you can listen to the Less Desirables, the Beer Dads, Fan Interference, Wheeler's Dog, and Asylum Tales from the Devereaux Diaries podcast. There may be a new podcast to tell you about next week. Maybe. I haven't finished the details just yet, but hopefully it will be a daily podcast by and from me. You can find all these podcasts that I mentioned before and their latest episodes on our network website and directory, tldpodnetwork.com. You'll also find social media links to each one there as well. This is a reminder to all the listeners, and is good practice, not just now, but for always. Wash your damn hands. Wash with warm water and soap. Wash with that soap for 20 seconds or more. Sing along to this if you don't know how long 20 seconds is. course, Band on the Run from Paul McCartney and Wings. The single was released 47 years ago today. Keep an eye on my blog and this podcast to find out more about the food news and happenings around town. If you have any food news, send an email to Tim or Ray or Leah at themanwhoatetown.com. You can also contact us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter Instant Messengers. Like us on Facebook. On Twitter, we are Man8TheTown. On Instagram, we are Man8TheTown. And now we invite you to call and leave a voicemail on the podcast. Any podcast, really, on the TLD network. You can call 336-422-6862. That's right, 336-422-NUM. Leave a voicemail. We will play it on this podcast. Again, 336-422-NUM, 6862. Well, my name is Tim, and I am closing this recipe trunk with a new outro sound. Until next time, thank you for reading and thank you for listening. Bon appetit. Oh, no show next week. And happy 4th of July, everyone. Happy birthday, America. Yamas. The views and opinions stated by me or any of my guests are solely those of ours and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of our hosting companies, distributors, enemies, friends, or relatives. This podcast is copyrighted and cannot be reproduced or distributed without express written consent of the man who ate the town, that's me, and Such Limited Inc. However, if you ask nicely, we'll probably let you.